What's up, guys? It is Sunday, November 17, 2024, MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to recap UFC 309, guys. Jones versus Miocic, and we'll talk a little about the card. And then after that, we're going to preview UFC Macau. And that card is Peter Yan, Davison Figueiredo, and a bunch of other fights on the main card that are good, and then a bunch of prelims that we'll have a lot of fun breaking down those fights, Marcel. I'll just say that. So, anyways, guys, glad to have you here. Let's get some people in the chat. We got Joe in the chat. Joe, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Joe, big win by the Buffalo Bills, Joe. I know you just saw that game was awesome. Craig, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, Craig. Craig has survived the drive downtown and back from the Taylor Swift thing, so no issues at all, Craig. It was easy. Like MMA, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here, buddy. Hype is here. Glad to have you here. Anakin's here. What's up, man? Okay, a couple of questions. Oh, Antoine's here as well. Antoine, what's up, man? He has a question. Have you guys seen The Wrestler? I have, but I haven't watched it since it came out. I saw it in the theater, I think. It was good, but you saw it?
I know about the movie, but I never saw it.
That's a nice movie. I just haven't seen it since then. Tom and Aspinall and Jones. Yeah, I mean, it would be a huge fight. We'll talk about that in a second. Dolphin, what's up, man? Prelims are better. Yep, we'll talk about that too. Why are the cards next year in the Apex of March? I guess you can answer that really quick, Marcel, before we get into...
I think every month there will be at least one Apex card, to be honest. You know, I think we had there was 84. We had 17 this year. Probably will be around 12 next year or 13. You know, there will still be a lot, many, I think.
There we go. By the way, guys, I'm having a problem with the background, so it's just my room, basically. I can't get the artwork. I don't know what happened. I have to update my computer or something. It's something happened where I can't use the virtual background, so it's kind of odd, but I'll figure it out hopefully for next week.
Adam had to take away that pocket pussy of his background there before.
You know what's funny?
That's probably a little bit later. So
yeah, I know. I had to move the camera so you guys didn't see my bed and stuff. It's just it's all stained. I'm just joking.
Yeah, go ahead. What you want to say?
Cole, what's up, man? Cole, how about those Bills, buddy? That was awesome. Can you guys believe Bloody Elbow did 1.9 million views yesterday covering UFC 309? One championship really stunned by their viewership. Yeah, that's I'm not sure how legit those numbers are. I'm sure they do well, Cole, but it seems like they exaggerate the numbers, especially on LinkedIn and all these platforms. So the old gloves, yeah, we'll talk about that too. There's a lot to talk about, honestly. Of course, I mean it's a pay-per-view card, so we'll talk about. By the way, the Apex, are they actually adding? A lot of people asked me this yesterday. Do you know if they're adding seats? I think they
are. Just a bunch of fat people like myself, so it's a lot bigger. No, I don't know. A couple of seats, I think, but I think the renovations only take this month and December. So in January 11th, there's another Apex card, Vegas 101. So I think they're ready then. I think the most time they had is outside with the parking spot and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, but yeah, the Apex is still going on. And we'll keep. I think David Shaw said it as well. They will keep doing fights at the Apex.
He did say that, but he also said they wanted to go on the road more. And the schedule yesterday, 4 of the events are at the Apex and up to 6 possibly too. So
I think one is a Mexican fight night. I think one.
Is it okay? Maybe the other one. Hopefully not. I mean, I still think it's too much. I don't mind if it's 1 a month, but it shouldn't be 2 a month.
I agree.
By the way, there's a lot of cards next year. It looks like I think they're going to do 50 cards. I really think so. Something like that, Marcel. Maybe 48 cards or something like that. So you probably. I mean, there's so many fighters on the roster. Okay, let's get into UFC 300, guys. Great question from Blake. Did the Jones performance exceed, meet, or fall behind your expectations? Yeah, I think it exceeded the expectations, if anything. I think he looked amazing, personally. I don't know what you thought, Marcel, but I think it was pretty much a complete masterclass performance. He was never in trouble. And
Derek clearly disagrees.
Yeah, 1-1. That's I had a 2017, by the way, guys. I had 10-8 first round, 10-9 for second round. Yeah, I mean, I think Jones pretty much dominated the entire fight from bell to bell. Stipe landed a couple good punches, I guess, at times. Actually, you know what's funny? The best punch Stipe landed was when Jones rocked him. I think it was, I want to say third round. Yeah. And he rocked him, and when Jones was going in, Stipe landed a counter shot that actually kind of, I don't know if, I don't want to say it hurt Jones. I don't really.
He felt it.
Yeah, he did. He felt it. Heavyweight power is a little different, right? It just feels a little different. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but Marcel, I guess it's just a good segue. What did you think of the fight? And to answer Blake's question, did he exceed your expectations, or about the same as you thought?
I think everybody could see why this fight wasn't the fight they had to book. You know, I mean, Stipe is just, and all respect to Stipe, but Stipe is an old fighter. You know, he's just an old fighter. You know, and he was great when he was a champion. He's like a typical guy, family man, hard worker, fireman, an all around good dude. You know, that's Stipe. And I have so much respect for the guy, but he's just not at that level anymore. You know, he still has the knockout power probably, and Jones was just like super like elusive, going out of the way. You know, that Stipe couldn't land those shots. I still think he probably can compete with a lot of heavyweights because the heavyweight division fucking sucks. Below 5, pretty much. You know, let's say below 8. But it's just he's just an older fighter. You know, and you see like with Jon Jones is like so. He's an incredible athlete, you know. So he's also not past 40 yet. He's still in his late 30s, but he's just a complete athlete, you know. And Stipe had to do it from hard work, really hard work. And it's like you got to look at like this, man. It's like they're both champions, but Jon Jones is not just like probably also a hard worker now, but he has massive talent, you know. And that kind of talent, I don't think Stipe ever had that kind of talent. For him, it's like fucking hard work, you know, every day, every go, you know. So there's a big difference with that. And if that meets somewhere, and the guy is kind of Stipe is like a little bit declining, you know, and Jones is still good, you know, he wins that fight. So for me, it's like this fight showed to me that this was not the right fight for the UFC to book, you know. And they did it, so I'm happy it's over because we're past that fight now, you know. Jones won. It was a very decisive win, in my opinion. Beautiful knockout by kick to the body.
Kick.
Very beautiful.
You know, it was like Dennis Seaver back in the day. He used to land that kick.
Yeah, man. What was a nasty one, you know. I mean, it's nasty if you can put Stipe away like that. It's very nasty. But yeah, I mean, I can kick in open doors. But listen, if Jones wants to go through with the heavyweight title, we got to see the Aspinall fight, man.
Yeah. Let me get. By the way, I want to we have to get our sponsors some love here too. MMAOB Daily Podcast presented by Bet105. Marcel, give them some love. Throw the banner up there. Let me get some comments, guys. Pato's here. What's up, man? Is Jon Jones the best fighter I've ever seen? He always has been. Since the first time I don't think the first time I saw him, but yeah. Really, it was like kind of the Matyshenko fight. Really, I think that was the fight for me where I'm like, holy fucking shit. Yeah. Where I'm like, this guy's unbelievable. And then obviously went on that run where he beat all those champions after that.
Bro.
Yeah. Even the Matt Hamill fight, I know he lost, but like he didn't lose that fight. Come on.
What the Brendan Vera fight, man.
Oh, Brendan Vera, like those fights, right? You knew he was special. Like even at UFC 100 when he fought Bonner, like that was a good performance.
Back
elbow. Yeah. So
bro,
it was those fights where he was taking the guys down and just smashing their faces with his elbows. Like you knew this guy was something special. So I've known this for 15 years. I mean, I'm not trying, like that's not really you know, getting like a lot of people have been watching his whole career, you know, and there's a lot of fans in the chat probably are newer fans, but
also,
you know,
can I jump in?
Of course you can.
For me, it's like kind of crazy that I see people saying online that the fighters Jon Jones beat were nothing special. At that moment back then, Jon was like 22, 23. Those guys were the elite of the division, you know?
Exactly.
And the way he went through certain guys like Quinton Jackson, Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machida, Shogun Rua, Ryan Bader, who was like the big #1 contender alongside with there were the two big, how do you say that? Newcomers pretty much in the division who everybody had high expectations of. And he put Bader away pretty easily, you know? And now if you look back at it, people are like, yeah, Ryan Bader. Back then, that was a big win.
Ryan Bader's still a great fighter.
But champion, like you know how a lot of casual fans look at it. You know,
will always shit on the fighters that came before them. Like, yes, the fighters of it's true that the fighters of today are better than the fighters of yesterday. I do agree with that. They're more well-rounded. They're just better,
of course,
right? But that doesn't discount what they were at that time. And at that time, he was destroying the best guys. Jones is he's the greatest fighter of all time. But this didn't change it for me. You know, if he lost, I don't know if it really would have changed it for me either. Maybe, but Yeah, I mean, like for me, he's always been the best, anyways. So
That's why I prefer to do it per weight class. For me,
yeah.
Jones beat Stipe. In my opinion, Jones is not the GOAT at heavyweight, by beating Stipe, but he's
You
still
think
the GOAT at
Fedor?
light heavyweight.
You think Fedor is though?
I still think he is because of the
Right.
dominance in the years he put out and when he was in his prime and pride. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say he was in the UFC. Pride was bigger than the UFC at a certain moment, and Fedor fought really the who's who in that organization. I know he kind of destroyed it a little bit at Strikeforce, but hey, man, I mean, for me, it's still Fedor, Miocic, definitely. Let's if you look at the UFC thing. But the thing is, like, now people are going to say maybe like Jones is also the heavyweight GOAT. That's not true to me, I mean, that would mean that Chris Weidman is the middleweight GOAT over Anderson Silva. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So for me, Jones will probably always be the light heavyweight GOAT. I don't think anybody going to reach that kind of dominance that he had,
Yeah.
And an overall GOAT is so difficult, man, because there will people say GSP, Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva, Jon Jones. I mean, choose whoever you want, That's why I go by weight class, much easier.
That's fair. All right, a couple other comments. Dolphins like the card. I'll talk about the Cardinals in a sec. Like me. Jones did look good. Stipe looked old. Yeah, I mean, no surprise. He's 42 and hasn't fought in 3 years, right? Just like Travis is saying. Adam Marcel, what is the Hey Joseph, what's the legacy for Stipe now that he announced retirement? Dude, I think he's like top 2 heavyweights of all time. Him
Future
and
Hall of Fame.
Fedor. I think they should put him in next year. Like, I don't see why are we waiting? Like, he really is the best. Like, do you know? By the way, have you heard anything about next year's potential?
No, nothing yet. No, they're not.
Joanna went in this year, right? She's already in. Joanna?
Yeah, she's in. Yeah.
Okay. And Frankie went in. They were both there last night. I'm just trying to think who would be next. Like, I think Stipe makes sense, right? Like, I think immediately induct him. I do think it is funny though, like that I think we all kind of had a feeling he'd retire if he lost, and there's no like video package ready to go, but they had one ready to go for Carla Esparza, and they did that whole thing for her. Like, come on, they should have had something for Stipe.
I still love Stipe. It's like, so how did he doesn't? It's like Joe Rogan is like, Stipe, how are you? Yeah, I'm done.
I could barely even hear what he was saying. Honestly, like his speech has been kind of tough to decipher in the last couple of years. It's always been kind of like that way, to be honest, Marcel. But last night, especially after getting the shit kicked out of him, I couldn't even understand what he was saying half the time. So.
Adam, dude, is amazing, man. When Jon Jones didn't want to shake his hand, it's like, you talk about my family. He's like, I didn't. And
I saw that.
The day after, Jones walks up to him. He just shows his hand again. Like, do you shake my hand now? And Jones shakes his hand. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was.
I wouldn't shake his hand the second
time. The whole thing with
Jones
reminded me of Anthony Smith when he was talking to Johnny Walker. You talk about my family? He's
yeah.
Like, huh? Glad Stevie retired before he gets tribute video. Yeah, it was. I'm glad he's done too. Really, he shouldn't have even taken this fight, but he couldn't say no to this fight either.
Yeah.
Payday and the fact he could have landed a lucky shot. You never know. Yeah. With him retired, what do you guys think Stipe's greatest win? Probably the DC one where he finished him with the body shots, I would think. But I also think he had a lot of good wins. I think his win over Overeem was nice, where he ground and pounded him. I think. Sorry?
The comeback against Overeem, yeah.
Yeah, after Overeem guillotined him, right? Like, Overeem's still convinced he choked him out. I think the win over Mark Hunt, where he finished Mark Hunt, was really nice. Amazing. He beat the shit out of him. I think Verdum one was nice. Like, all these wins were like the second fight with JDS where he knocked him out. Actually, you know what? The Francis and I forgot about this fight. He didn't knock him out, but he dominated him with the wrestling. So they're all nice wins. Like, if you look again, he was Jones. Like, you can't bet against Jones, but like if it was anyone other than Jones, I might have picked Stipe just because he's very good. Unfortunately, he fought Jon Jones. Like, he's going to lose this fight. No one thought he was going to win, right?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments still. Like when he knocked out Verdum. Well, actually, a lot of people didn't expect that at all. He walked back, knocked out Verdum, climbs over the cage. He's like, I'm the world champ. I still love that moment. I watch it back all the time because it looks so great with his team around him, and just all around good dude. I mean, there is no serious MMA fan who doesn't love Stipe Miocic. You know what I mean? He's just like a hardworking good dude, family man. I have all respect for Stipe.
Absolutely. All right, a couple other comments here. John said you would need fuck you money to fight Tom. I think you would demand $50 million, possibly. Jones past his prime. I don't know, man. He looked good last night. I don't know if that's fair to say. The trip takedown was awesome. Pray we get Aspinall Jones, not Poton Jones. Yeah, I it's also business for Jones. Like he keeps saying Poton. He wants Pereira, but he's got to play some hardball at the UFC, I think. Although Namabo, Houthi, and Jones, who looked the least like a -1,000 favorite. I mean, Bo, but we'll talk about him in a few minutes. Yeah. What do you guys think a fight between Stipe and Aspinall looks like? Tom ends in less than a minute. Yeah, it'd be quick. I mean, Jones almost ended Stipe. I got to give Stipe credit. Like, his guard was very nice in the first round. He kept getting to full guard. Give him some credit, Marcel, too, you know?
Yeah, but absolutely, man. I mean, the funny thing is, like, he got so much elbows to the face in the first round, and the last one sliced him open, like, the last second. It's really crazy.
I know. All right. Yeah. Oh, here, Marcus. I can see UFC trying to make Pereira Jones the biggest fight they can make. Maybe, but again, this guy was fighting at middleweight last year. I don't know about this, guys.
What are we talking about? What's the? I didn't see the comment. It was too quick.
Pereira and Jones the biggest fight. I'm just saying Pereira was at middleweight last year. I'm not denying it's a big fight. It's huge, but
Dana was, listen, man, I don't always believe Dana, but Dana was really clear.
He's not interested.
Yeah, and it's not because he's afraid Jones loses, but he's afraid Pereira loses.
Yeah, I know. They don't lose Pereira because Jones probably has like one fight left.
Yeah.
Right? Pereira probably has maybe 5 fights left. I don't know, something. Stipe and Jim Miller were Hall of Fame worthy. I agree. Who'd you guys pick in Nagano Jones originally? I mean, that fight was never announced. It was never.
I would have picked Jones. I'd say
same here, but it was never announced, Antoine. Fight Talk, what's up, man? Glad to have you here and appreciate the artwork as always. All right, let's go. I didn't even ask you this, but like I always ask you like before and after like your rating out of 10. Going into it, what did we have on this card? I can't remember. Like 7.
I think I had something like 7, and it went to a 6 for me.
I know. I'll be honest with you guys. Like I think the card wasn't great. Like
prelims were fun. Main card sucked overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like there were some good moments on there, but let's go through the fights. So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The spectacular Jones knockout was great. You know, and I thought Chandler against Oliveira wasn't that great of a fight. That was fucking one-sided.
Yeah, and I know. So let's talk about that now. So I had a feeling they give it fight of the night. I don't think it deserved fight of the night, guys. Personally, the 5th round was legendary. I will give it that. So it's like almost like everyone forgot about the previous 4 where Oliveira completely dominated Chandler on the ground. 5th round was amazing. Chandler had Oliveira rocked. He had him hurt bad. He landed about 20 punches to the back of the head. Keith Peterson sat there with his cigarettes and alcohol and Marcel and didn't do anything. You know, Dominic Cruz was like screaming at the TV. I had it 49-46 for Chandler.
Yeah.
How'd you did you have a 10-8 round? I didn't have.
You mean for Oliveira? Yeah.
All right, that's what I meant to say. Apologies. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, like, you got to score those back to the head shots because they are not being illegal.
They're not.
Officially. Yeah. So you got to score it, but it's fucking bullshit. Because now imagine, you know, Chandler puts him away with that, and Keith Peterson doesn't see it. They go into a review 100%, and it's a no contest or it's a DQ. I think it's a no contest because they probably say it's not wasn't on purpose or something, you know. They're gonna say something like that. So then you ruin the whole fight pretty much, you know, because Oliveira was fucking dominant. He got tagged in the 5th round. Yeah, but
he was rock bad.
Chandler, man, I mean, how many illegal shots to the back of the head did he land? It was like horrible. And Keith Peterson, a fucking idiot, you know, that he didn't step into it and let it go. I was like, was Keith like, 12-6 is now legal? It's now legal to go to the back of the head? Really weird, man. But I'm happy at the end of the day, and I don't have a fish in this or whatever, but I'm happy Oliveira won, because if Chandler won because of that would have been bullshit, you know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think that 5th round was amazing though, for sure.
It was crazy,
but I wouldn't have given the fight of the night. There's a fight later on that I think I would have given fight of the night too. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, as far as what's next, obviously Oliveira is going to get a title shot against the winner of Arman and Islam, right? I would imagine, unless Arman wins, maybe they'll do the trilogy fight. Maybe, I don't know. You know,
I think Islam gets an immediate title.
That's what I'm saying. So like people are kind of forgetting about that, right? But most likely, you know, if Islam wins, then Oliveira will be next. And then for Chandler, I like the call outs of the Conor call out. Fuck that fight. I don't. By the way, Dana, he's going to come back at the end of 2025 now. What the hell is going on, dude? What happened? He was supposed to fight in June of this year.
But Dana's also really like, yeah, guys. He's coming back at the end of 2025. He's like saying it like this is something great, you know. It's like, dude,
I
he
don't
was
care
supposed to
about.
come back in 2023 already.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
know. That's what I'm saying. Like Ultimate Fighter was like last year or something, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
anyways, I like the Max fight for the BMF though. I mean, I'm pretty sure Max wins, but I think it'd be a fun fight. I think it's perfect actually for UFC Hawaii. There was some news this week that Dana is interested in Hawaii now. Finally, Marcel, they want to do Power Slap Hawaii and UFC Hawaii the next day, guys. And Max Holloway versus Chandler, I think actually can headline a pay per view in Hawaii.
So,
what do you think? Can it headline pay per view? I think it could.
yeah, so you telling me Dana is now interested because he got some power slap, dude?
Yeah,
fuck out of here, dude.
The crazy Hawaiian or
yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. I mean, so you needed a fucking power slap, dude.
Well, I think they're doing the
bro.
The rematch, right?
They had fucking Max Holloway. You know, for years, who could fucking headline? BJ Penn could headline Hawaii, and now he got a fucking power slap guy, and he's like, "Oh, now we can go too hard." Fuck out of here, man!
I love your little rant. So it's going to be, I think, was it the rematch between the crazy Hawaiian and the dumpling guy? I think, right? That's the rematch because it was a draw, right? Yeah. So, anyways, we don't talk about power slapping, but yeah, I think that it makes sense to go to Hawaii, and I think that a fight between Chandler and Max is a fun fight, guys. Personally, for a BMF title, it makes sense. Chandler's 2-4, but every fight's fight of the night. So, yeah. Marcus, what's up? Dirty fighter. He doesn't like Michael Chandler. Clearly, I don't know if I want to call him the dirty fighter.
I kind of disagree with him
because of one fight, right?
He did the same shit with Poirier, so I don't kind of disagree.
Oh yeah, he did actually. Yeah, good call. I don't know. I mean, I really like Michael Chandler, but yeah, I mean, he's you know, I think the ref just needs to be.
I agree.
The refs have ways to combat this. They can take points. They can disqualify people, and they don't do shit. So, and this fight clearly at least a warning. He didn't give a fucking warning.
Yeah.
Like every was like bang bang boom boom bang. Remember that video of Boss Rudin back in the day where he's like smashing the guy in the head in the bar? Bang, boom, yeah. That's what it looked like to me, dude.
Yeah.
Your fellow really Dutchman.
I really think like Keith Peterson was like, oh, we got we got some rules go. This is okay, you know.
Yeah, I know. The crazy Hawaiian, biggest star in Hawaiian combat sports history. Is he? I don't know. Is he?
I think he's trolling that.
I guess. I mean, I think he's popular, but yeah. We'll talk about Jon Top in a sec, guys. Hold on. Wait a sec. We have to get to the other fights. Chandler Robeski. I don't know, Pato. I mean, like it's a fun fight, but I think they look at Chandler as they look at him as an elite guy when he really isn't, but he's always in fun fights. So
I think probably Fiziev or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say like or Dariush or something like that, but I don't mind that. I like the hallway call out, but plus, I was gonna say I do like the stream, you know, for the pay-per-views. The other guys are like big on wrestling, and they think he's gonna do well in WWE when his UFC career is done. Chandler,
probably because of the promo he got.
He's good on the mic. He's very good on the mic. The promo was amazing. Got me pretty hyped. It got everyone hyped. Anyways, yeah. So let's go to the next fight here. Fucking this fight, I think, really sucked the air out of the building. Terrible fight. Bo Nickel defeats Paul Craig by decision. A terrible fucking fight. There's nothing good to say about this fight, in my opinion. First off, I don't agree with the judges. I had the first round for Paul Craig. How did you have the first round?
I could see it for both guys, but I scored a 29-28 at the end. But I scored it for Bo Nickel.
Same here. And John Anik was like, oh, it's definitely 30-27. I was surprised he said that. Like, it was almost surprising to me. Like, he's calling the fight, so I'm not sure how. Of course, he's watching closely, but like I didn't know he was scoring the fights too. That's all I was gonna say.
I don't like when the commentator is scoring the fights unless it's really clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was surprised because like it was a competitive fight. Okay, so I mean, okay, listen, guys, Bo obviously won, you know, because he definitely won the second and third round. But the first round, I do think Craig won. Regardless, he would have lost the fight. So for me, what kind of the problem with this fight is. It was for me like Bo was talking about how he kept saying he dominated. And I watched the post fight too. I dominated him. I did well. My striking looked good. I didn't see that from him. I don't think he looked great in this fight at all. I think his striking looked very one dimensional. Like kept throwing that overhand left. Didn't shoot a takedown, which I understand, I guess, because of the matchup. He wanted to test the stand up. I don't think going 15 is a bad thing at all. By the way, I think it's a good thing for him. But I just wasn't impressed, man. Personally, I didn't think it was a good fight. The crowd was chanting overrated. When have they ever chanted overrated to a fighter? That's not
never.
Good. I think he didn't look great at all. He won, but I wasn't impressed, man, at all, personally.
it felt to me like, and it's just like a comparison, like two field hockeyers playing on the normal hockey on
Yeah.
ice. That's how I felt like. It's like two grapplers who are kickboxing. It's like a Jake Shields. I want to say Jennifer Maya, Damian Maya. Sorry.
Okay.
It just really it didn't do anything. It was like. And I expected if Bo strike with Paul that he would be able to put him away at a certain moment, but he wasn't. Yeah, really, really weird fight and really unsatisfying fight. And yeah, man, people screaming overrated. Listen, man, I'm not gonna say the thing is like Bo put so much pressure on himself by saying that he would beat this guy and that guy and that guy. A lot of people are seeing that as well. And let's be honest, I also said that he would knock him out in the first round, that he would knock Craig out in the first round. But he didn't do that.
Yeah.
I think, listen, and now I'm looking back at it. At first, I was like, people over here and Nellis were saying, let's hope Renier the Ritter fights the winner of this fight. At first, I was like, if Bo Nickel wins, I don't want to see him against Renier the Ritter. After this fight, put them against each other. I don't give a shit because I think Bo's striking is still better. Don't get me wrong, but Renier will initiate the ground game with him, not like Paul Craig. I expected Paul Craig to go for the ground game as well. He didn't, but Renier will definitely. So we get a different fight. So I mean, let's do it.
Yeah,
man. Why not? He's not going to get a ranked opponent.
Yeah, I understand, Marcus, what you're saying, like the experience, but like, dude, I do think the betting odds, like, everyone thought Bo would win, and he won, but it wasn't impressive. Like, considering like how hyped this guy is, future champ, is going to be Hamzat, he's going to be DDP. Like, I don't see that at all. And actually, you know what? I got to give Dana credit in the post fight. Someone asked him, he's just like, Bo's not ready yet. Like, he even said that, which I'm surprised by. Dana didn't seem thrilled about it. He didn't really like, bash him, but he was just like, well, the guy needs work. And actually, Dana was like, yeah, we feel at the UFC he needs more time. Like, we feel he needs to not rush, and he's the one who wants to go up. And that's the only thing I was saying. Do you think he's even? I don't even think he should get a top 15 opponent. Personally.
No, I also don't think so. And the thing is, like, he needs more time. In my opinion, the UFC is like the pinnacle of the sport. There is not more time.
Yeah.
I know they do that with certain fighters. I don't like it. If you're there, you should show that you're one of the best, and you should try to get up. It's not like the O'Malley trail. Well, we got to pamper him away to the up to the top 15, and then I don't know where we give him the number one contender. But it's like, for me, that doesn't count. It's like what they tried. Remember with Chase Hooper when they were like, yeah, he's a little bit young still, and then he came in, and then he looked still not really ready, and now he looks better at his last couple of fights. So the thing is, like, I would give him somebody outside the top 15 still. I see Renier the Ritter is not ranked. It's possible. Yeah. You can give him Gerald Mearshart. Why not?
Sure, that fight, that's not a bad fight. I don't mind that fight, actually. I'd rather see him fight Gerald. Like, I don't think he should get Renier. Werther, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Oh,
I mean, what if they had a match up with Gregory Rodriguez? It would be interesting.
I think Gregory probably beats him.
Yeah, that's what I say. This would be interesting. And Gregory's not even top 15,
Yeah. Could have wrestled, but knew he could have been subbed. I don't know if he knew that, but actually, come on, guys. It's surprising that no one shot a takedown in 15 minutes. Come on.
Yeah.
It can't not surprise you. Yeah. How far of a setback is this? I don't think it's that big of a setback because he still won. If he lost, then it's, a couple years. But he's I think his stock went down, personally. I don't know what you think. I think his stock went down.
I think so too. And in my opinion, like I said, you cannot go like slow build somebody in the UFC. I know they do that with some fighters. I'm not cool with it. They do it with Shara Magomedov, for example.
Raul Rosas, him.
Raul Rosas, Shara Magomedov, Sean O'Malley, they did it with, I don't like that shit, It's like, why does, for example, a Guram Kutatelatsu, when he comes in, he had to fight fucking Mateusz Gamrot. What was the second fight? He lost that fight. It was also a very difficult opponent. I mean, it's like a whole... Paddy Pimblett also got like easy matchmaking in the beginning when he came in the UFC because they see they are like, how do you say that? Marketable, So they give them easier matchmaking. I don't like that shit, It's like, if you're that good, show it to us. And if you want to build a fighter, give him a, how do you say that, a developmental contract, and let him fight outside the organization. Because for me, I just don't like that. And Bellator did it all the time as well with certain fighters, where they had at a certain moment they had like fighters like 8-0, 9-0, only fighting guys who were like a negative record or 1-1, 1-0, 2-1, and then they got that bigger challenge, like a little bit bigger challenge, and they lost. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Totally fair. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Viviane Araújo pulls off the upset over Karine Silva. Fucking terrible fight, I think, especially for Karine. I think her stock dropped a lot too. She looked terrible in this fight, especially that third round, Marcel, flopping to her back. Just horrible look, horrible look. I thought Vivi won. I gave her the second and third round. I think she deserved to win. I think that she did more damage, and she had that near submission attempt in the second round, which actually surprised me, that armbar attempt. That does score points because it's near submission. It's close. I think Karine looked terrible. Judges were unanimous. I was surprised the fight went this way. I know that Araújo does have pretty good takedown defense, but even still, like the fact that Karine like gassed out as bad as she did, to me is such a bad look. And I think this is a big setback for her. This is like 2-year setback, Marcel.
Just not a good loss, Araújo had like 1 win in her last 5 fights, and it's just not a good loss. Araújo was like, how do you say? And even, let's be honest, if she doesn't get like tagged in the last 30 seconds of the first round, she maybe even wins.
Would have lost that round too. Yeah.
So it's like she was just better, and she was like, she had a better cardio, clearly, I'm happy for Araújo, man. She's not the youngest anymore either, so it's a good win for her to stay where she is right now. I think she's number 9. I think Karine was number 11. Yeah, for Karine, it's a bad loss, to be honest, because Araújo is not somebody who's going to make another run for the title or whatever, And this is pretty much like, this is almost like the Magny test, I would say. And that's maybe less than the Magny test even. And she didn't get past Araújo. I think, listen, I like Karine a lot, but it was a bad loss by Karine, man. I hope she can come back in the next fight. But, I mean, this was not a good loss for her.
I mean, really, dude, like I think she's 30 or 31. I don't know how good like she really is now. Like, I think maybe she is like a top 10 girl, and she's not top, 5. Because really, Vivi is the gatekeeper to the top 10, basically. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
I think Karine what is she rank 11th? Right,
9 against 11. Yeah,
9 against 11. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So she's top 15. Sorry, I should say she's top 15, but probably not top 10. So very disappointing for me. By the way, the Mike Tyson thing, honestly, I talked about last night in the stream. I don't care about talking about this fight anymore. I personally don't. The ass cheeks thing was hilarious, but Marcel, I don't really care about talking about it. Do you?
Yeah, man. Josh Koscheck would motorboat that ass, but man. I mean, I also like the stream over here. Like, I had to use a fucking illegal stream because Netflix cannot get their shit together.
Yeah,
apparently.
I had problems with it too, so I don't even. Honestly, I'm not going to give them any more love. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Mauricio Hufi defeats Giannis Lomtop. Catchweight fight, a fun fight. I think this was a really good fight, actually. I think it was one of the better fights in the card, personally, Marcel. I don't know what you think, but yeah, obviously Hufi, 2 great first rounds. Sorry, the first round was great and the second round was great, and then Lomtop, took over in the third round after Hufi got a little bit tired. I don't think he thought he would still be there because he took some huge shots, and man, his chin is unbelievable. Obviously missed weight for catchweight, not good. I mean, I think that it was a fun fight, but I thought Hufi would knock him out, so that's a bit disappointing. And then for Lomtop, 3 straight losses. I would give him that 4th fight though in his contract, obviously. I think they'll give him one more just because he puts up good fights. But yeah, I mean, you miss weight for catchweight. It's a terrible look. By the way, Daniel Cormier can't do math. He kept saying he's 20 pounds over. It's like, no, he's like 12 pounds over, basically. He's 12 pounds over, right? Not 20. But it was supposed to be 55, couldn't make it. They gave him 10 extra pounds, still couldn't make it. So, and I think, what was he? Was it about 12 pounds over, right? 11 and a half or something? Any thoughts?
Yeah, man. Ruffy landed a no-look uppercut.
That was sick.
Yeah. Hamas Lomtop. I don't know, man, if he gets a 4th fight, to be honest. Yes, he saved the fight. At the other side, how the UFC hates it when you take a short notice fight and you don't make weight. You see what they did with the guy, what's his name, last week against Zaleski, the Scroggin guy. He already got cut, So it's like, I don't know, he lost 2 fights. Now he lost a 3rd fight in a row. So maybe they see him as like a John Phillips or a Dustin Stolfoods at the beginning, and he gets another one. But I don't know, Rufi or Hoofy. I mean, he won. You know, it wasn't as spectacular as a lot of people expected. Still some spectacular moments in the fight.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people saying like he's overrated. I don't want to put that at all right now. You know, it's not like the thing is like you also think about it. It's an MSG probably. You know, big, and he was a heavy favorite on the pay-per-view card. You know,
Minus 1,000.
yeah, and I think he looked good in the first 2 rounds. Third
He looked
round,
great.
he
You
didn't
just
look
couldn't get the
great.
guy out of there. Like if you knocked
Yeah.
him out, we would be like, "Holy shit, this guy's amazing." I think he's
100%.
still good. You know,
I-
and yeah, I just think the other guy has like an iron chin. Like Jon Top. Remember the fight with Borshov? That was also a war. You know, so he's got a great chin. Anyways, I think it was a good fight, but again, you know, he missed weight. He was never going to get fighted tonight or anything like that. But it was a good fight. Next fight here, Marcus. Okay, you talking about bad fight IQ?
Oh God, yeah.
Jonathan Martinez, that was a consensus dog. We got this one wrong, but it's like this was a frustrating one because I think it was a winnable fight. I really do.
Yeah,
so
for sure it was.
Once again, stuck in quicksand, Marcel, throwing no strikes the first 2 rounds. You look at the stats. I want to pull the stats up. First round, McGee 33-7. Second round, 42-17. So guy was like not letting his hands or kicks go. Credit to McGee pumping up the volume. Then third round, just getting decimated with the leg kicks and start to clinch him instead of hurting him. And McGee said in the post fight, he's like, I was almost out of there. Like Adrian Yanez, your boy Marcel, he got kicked and he couldn't continue.
Yeah.
If Martinez kept kinking him, he might have been able to knock him out with kicks, TKO him with kicks. But he clinched him against the fence instead. I don't know if this is a coaching issue. I don't know if this is a confidence issue or what, but something's wrong here with this guy because he's very talented. And for whatever reason, Marcel, the last 2 fights, he just can't kick it into second gear. And I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Man, what happened?
Listen, man, the Aldo fight, yeah, I know. But then this fight, I mean, he didn't do anything back, man. You know, and then at the third round, listen, man, it's easy for us to say, of course, but I mean, everybody saw it. Like McGee was really compromising his right leg. You know, he barely could stand on it, and then he fucking clinched, and we all were in the Discord. What the fuck? Why is he clinching? You know, against the cage. I think McGee was happy with it. It was basically like almost like this Sean O'Malley Andre Sukumtat one, you know, where Sean O'Malley broke his leg. And then Sukumtat took him down in the third round after losing the first 2. You know, it's actually funny because McGee is like the teammate of Sean O'Malley. I also don't know. You would think like Jonathan Martinez, who's like top 15, would have a higher fight IQ and see this shit, you know. He didn't. And also, I don't know if his coaches said what he had to do. I don't know because I couldn't hear it, you know. But yeah, I mean, happy for McGee that he could get out of the third round, you know, because he won the first 2 rounds, and that's what won him the fight. But I was like, what the hell, dude? You know, like pretty much everybody else who was watching it and who picked Martinez to win the fight, you know? Yeah. I mean,
for McGee, though, I mean, let's just give McGee credit. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah,
again,
for sure.
Obviously, the first 2 rounds, anyways, he looked really good. Huge win for him. Let me see. He's not ranked. He will be ranked now. So he'll take Martinez's spot. There's a bunch of fights for him. I mean, I don't think they do him in Aldo, but that would be a fun fight. Kyler Phillips would probably he trains with them. They won't.
Rob Font.
Rob Font makes sense. I saw someone else mention that. Amon's a hobby would be fun. Montel Jackson, any one of those guys. Song Yadong, maybe that would be fun too, right? That would be a good fight. Yeah, he's great. I think we all like Marcus McGee. This is just frustrating as someone who did pick Martinez. It's just he just didn't let his hands go because I give him like a bit of a slack, Marcel, for the Aldo fight because it's like he went to Brazil. He's finding his idol. It's like, you know, you can kind of get starstruck from that. I get that, but this fight is just what the fuck? What happened? Some of these guys are saying Vinicius, Oliveira, Martinez. That'd be a fun fight. Two guys with nasty kicks. Martinez is like do you think he's going to be out of the rankings now?
If he's lucky, they put McGee above him and like 15.
But I feel like Montel Jackson should be ranked, and this guy.
I agree with you.
You know,
I agree.
I would pull him. I would pull him out if I was on the UFC rankings panel, Marcel. If I was on the panel, I wouldn't have him ranked anymore. So I'm not though, and neither are you. But we have 10 people we don't know who are ranking people, except for Brian. We know Brian from Osborne.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone else.
All right, I know a few.
Oh, do you? Okay, well I don't. Jim Miller, upset of the night, probably one of them. Or I guess Vivi was, but Jim Miller with a big upset here over Damian Jackson. Didn't get a bonus, which surprises me. I think he should have got a bonus. I guess he's won so many in his career, though, that it's like hard to feel bad for the guy. But yeah, didn't expect this, man. I got to be honest. I thought Damian Jackson would look good at 55, and he got subbed here and then retired after the fight. No one's really talking about his retirement, which sucks because a couple years ago he went on a real nice run. But overall, Damian Jackson, let me check his record: 6-7. No, 1-2. Sorry, 6-6, 1-1 in the UFC. That's his record.
Yeah, 2 stints, right?
He had 2 stints, 6-6, 1-1. Yeah, Miller, though, I mean, geez. Again, I was talking to someone last night, Marcel.
Yeah.
I think he'll stick around till UFC 400. I don't see why not. I think he'll stick around till 400.
Hey, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, how many pay-per-view events you got a year? Like 14?
Yep, 14 next year. He can fight probably. He'll probably take 2 fights next year, if I had to guess. He says he has. I think he said that's his 45th fight. I want to say he wants to fight.
Yeah, this
50
was his
fights.
45th. Yeah,
he wants to fight 50, so he'll fight. Obviously, they're going to give him all the fights. 5 more fights, 2 more years. Okay, so it's close. But the thing is, he could take a couple years off. They come back at like age 45 too, like Orlovsky or something like that. I think Miller's one of these guys that just is timeless, man. And again, remember I told you that stat about Jones debuting before him? You couldn't believe me, and then it's crazy. They did mention that last night, by the way. But yeah, great win for Jim. And I mean, what do you think? Like, again, I think he'll take time off. I don't think he's in a rush to get back in there, but I'd imagine they'll put him on a pay-per-view card, sometime. I think at this point he should only be fighting on pay-per-view cards, personally, Marcel.
Oh, in front of a crowd, definitely.
Yeah, in front of a crowd, I should say. Jim Miller.
Tony Ferguson. That's good.
No.
No, just kidding, dude. No.
I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. Has he fought Dober yet? That would be maybe fun, something like that. Like another veteran. Curry Holloway would be fun too. Another veteran. I'm just looking at the rankings. Diego Ferreira would be fun, but I think Diego probably beats him too.
Yeah, Diego.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I don't know against who, by the way. But
okay. But yeah, I mean, I thought he'd lose this fight too, and he won. So there's a lot of fights for Jim Miller. He's a fucking legend. He's already fought Vince Purcell. Someone said in the comments they could do a rematch. Although I think is he retired or cut?
I don't know.
Is he on the roster? He's still on the roster. They could do a rematch. Yeah.
Fitzpatrick is related to Cap Swanson.
Yeah. The Kron Gracie fight's very odd. It's very, very odd. It's very odd. And also the fact it's on main card is odd. But yeah.
The funny thing is, like, I heard about the fight like I think 4 days ago.
I thought it was fake too, probably.
Yeah, and I said to Adam, like, I know who's Bryce Mitchell's fighting. He's like, who? It's like you can guess. And he got 3 guesses. He didn't guess it, obviously. I told him, you're never gonna guess it.
You could have given me 100 guesses, I would have never fucking guessed it. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here. David Onama defeats Roberto Romero, and this was my fight of the night. I thought this was the best fight.
For me as well, clearly.
By the way, I thought Romero won the first round. I don't know what you thought, but I thought he won. And then all judges gave Onama 327. So
because of the late knockdown, probably.
Yeah, he did knock him down late. They forgot whatever happened in the 4 minutes before, right? So yeah, I think it was a great fight. I mean, Onama's always in good fights. He's a great fighter to watch. But Romero obviously surprised everyone. Didn't think much about this guy coming in. He had a loss recently to some guy I've never heard of, Komate. Comes in on like 4 days notice or whatever, Marcel, against a real good prospect here in Onama, and looked good. He looked really good in that first round. The only thing I'm thinking, Marcel, is I don't want to get too high on this guy because he had like a surprise performance, in a loss. Remember when Basil Hafez fought Jack, and we were like, okay, this guy looks good. He looks like a good prospect. Well, maybe not. He's not so good,
What about Lando Venada?
What, to do the match them up?
Against Tony Ferguson.
Oh, against Tony, yeah, that's another. And Lando had kind of an average career, right? They get some good fights.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, this guy's going to get a couple more fights at the UFC. He's fun. It was a good signing. I think it was actually a really good signing, to be honest. But yeah, I just don't want to get too hyped about a guy because he had 5 good minutes, basically. But yeah, Onama looked great again, and I think this should have been fight of the night. Dana probably wasn't watching this fight. Let's be honest. He probably wasn't watching this fight. Most likely, he was not watching it. He was with Trump. He was with Elon. He was with K Rock. He wasn't watching this, Marcel. So great fight, though. I know you like this one, huh?
Yeah, man, great fight. I really loved how Romero looked on a 3 or 4 days notice, man. He looked really good. Yeah, I give him Yeka Saragi in this next fight.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that one. I think Yeka has knockout power, and
your fellow Indonesian, Marcel, right?
Yeah. So I give him that.
Marcel's half Indonesian, if you guys didn't know. He is, right?
Yeah, my dad's from Indonesia, so
that's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He's the only Indonesian fighter, isn't he? I think.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He should be your guy, not Stefan Struve and Overeem and all those guys. They should be Jeka Saragi.
And Onama. Who would you give for Onama? Man?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, he's a feather. Well, this was a lightweight, but he is a featherweight. Would you give him a rank guy? I mean, if they gave Kron Gracie one, maybe they could. No, I'm looking at the thing. Okay, how about Andre Fili? Would you like that fight? Is that a good fight?
I think it makes sense. It's kind of a veteran, you know. I mean, that's a fun fight.
Ricardo Ramos, that would be okay. I'm looking at guys coming off wins.
I was maybe Julian Erosa.
That would be fun. Yeah. Erosa won his last fight against Christian Rodriguez. That would be a fun one.
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah. Any of those fights are fun. There's a lot of fight. There's a lot of featherweight fights coming up. He could fight the winner of those fights. All right. Next fight. Martin Tybura defeats Jonathan Deniz by doctor stoppage second round. So a couple of thoughts on this fight. I mean, we both picked Deniz. We were wrong, obviously, but I will say, like, the first minute, he could have knocked him out, and instead of like letting him back up, he goes into his guard. What was he thinking? It was beyond stupid. And after that, it was smooth sailing for Tybura, and then the second round beat the shit out of him with those elbows. And I really think Herb Dean fucked up by not stopping this fight. I think he 100% should have stopped the fight. He was taking so much damage and not resisting at all. The doctor, I think, made a good call stopping this fight. This is one of the rare times I agree with them, because usually they stop the fights too soon. Bro, he could barely stand up. He got cut everywhere. I think it was a good stoppage. I don't know. Any thoughts?
I think Dean should have stopped it if there should have been a stoppage, to be honest. I don't know. The thing is, like, for me, it's really unclear what Jonathan said to the doctor.
I don't think he answered the question correctly, whatever they asked.
Probably, because then the doctor was like, no, it's over. But also, did you see, I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, normally when a fighter is down, you are not allowed to help him up to the corner. And I think the corner of Jonathan helped him up and then dragged him pretty much to the corner, So
that's not good either.
No, so I think it was a good stoppage if you look at it, And just like, also, listen, I like Jonathan a lot, but also bad fight IQ, man. Tybura's best way to win is on the ground, probably ground and pound or either submission. And he tagged him. He actually knocked him down on the knee, and then he went in for the grappling. I was like, what are you doing, dude? He probably is going to reverse you, and he did,
Beyond stupid. Just, very low fight IQ and disappointing to see.
And I can't agree with what Dolphins fan 86 says there. I said it in the Discord as well. If you look at damage from the first round, you could give it to Jonathan, the fight.
Potentially.
The first round. You could. I didn't say shoot, but could.
Yeah. All right. Next fight here. We did get this one correct. Our consensus dog here, Rocky Mai, knocks out Mickey Gall first round. First knockout of his career. Another first round finish for Ramiz, who we both liked for a while, Marcel. He's one of these guys that's good for the first round. Let's be honest. He's very good in the first round. And I just didn't understand, obviously we made some good picks in this card, some bad ones, but this one, Mickey Gall is a guy that is barely in like UFC caliber, and quite frankly, probably shouldn't have been brought back for a second stint. And I don't know why so much money came in on him. At the end of it closed at like plus 150 for Ramiz. When we picked it last week, it was like plus 100, plus 105. Barely a dog, and he ended up being a decent dog. So, amazing finish. And I will say this. I was talking to you, like, I was like, I hope they gave him a bonus, but we were both kind of like, well, it was third fight in the card. They probably won't. I'm glad they gave him a bonus. He really deserved this bonus. And he is from New York, too, so that was great to see, right?
Yeah, man, he's from the Bronx. Yeah, and he's fighting out of Fortis.
You've liked Ramiz for a while, right? Like,
Ramiz a good dude, I know Ramiz from before he was in the UFC when he was fighting in LFA.
Yep.
So, good dude, man. The thing with Ramiz is, like, if he gets in second and third rounds, it's not as good as in the first round,
For sure.
You got I think all of his wins are first round stoppages besides the William.
Yeah, I just think this was his best performance by far, though. Like, the way he was marching forward, throwing bombs, it was nice to see, dude. It really was. By the way, would you cut Mickey Gall? 4 straight losses. Is he cut?
I hate to say it, but probably should be. 7-7. I mean, I don't. Yeah, but I also 7-7 in total. I think he is.
Oh, right? Sorry, I meant to say 4 straight losses. He's 7-7. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. But
I said that.
I don't think there is like a male fighter in the UFC who has like a negative or a 7-7 record. Or
No, I agree. I think that's it for him. I mean, he did look good against Hafez in his last fight, but that's it for him. Then the next fight here, another bonus winner, Oban Elliott. We were both really confident in him winning this fight against Basil Hafez. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, the judges had this fight sketchy. Like, if this fight went the distance, he would have Potentially lost. Well, I guess it would have been a split, but he could have lost if Basel ended up winning that third round, which is crazy. I think the first one was close. I think you could give it to either guy, but the second one clearly was Obon Elliott, and Derek clearly had a 2-0 for Hafez. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I both gave it to Oban, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine too.
By the way,
the media. By the way, did you see that? He was asking. He's like, "What did you guys have? What did you have?" I like Oban. He's good on the mic too, man.
He's funny.
He's a joker.
Can I ask you a trivia question?
Yep.
Which fighter debuted with a 0-0 record in the UFC in a co-main event?
Can you tell me, like, is it modern era or is it like?
It's modern era, yeah.
Brock?
No,
Brock had that one fight. Yeah, he had that fight. Can you give me any sort of hint or no?
I ain't stalking. I want to put his money where his mouth is.
I don't know. Who is it?
James Stoney.
Oh, good call. Yeah. It's true against Randy. Yeah. Good call. By the way, do you guys think they did call the service and they signed him? No, because he wants to get to the UFC. He made some decent money over his career. He's not UFC level, you know. I think Mickey's a good dude. I don't have an issue with him, but like when you lose 4 straight fights, you probably shouldn't be in the UFC anymore. You know, it's not like he's losing to elite guys, Marcel. He's losing to like average. Like when he lost to Malad and Morono and he got cut, it's like okay, you know, that's tough. But then losing to Ramiz and Basel, who are like they're all, like I like them, but they're also borderline guys, you know. So it's not a great loss for Basel. By the way, 1-2 now in the UFC. Or sorry, 1-2. I guess they bring him back for one more, his 4th fight.
It's just crazy that he looked the best in this debut fight against Jack Della. That's the best how he looked.
Does that not show you styles make matchups too?
Yeah.
It actually concerns me for Jack going forward because, like, man, this is the guy who's barely clinging on the roster, and he arguably beat him. Some people thought he beat him. It was close, right? It was split.
Yeah,
all right, and then opening the card. I want to give you a shout out here. You made a pick. So Edouard Murra was a dog when we did the podcast, and then ended up closing as a favorite. But Marcel picked her as a dog, got the win here over Veronica Hardy. Pretty bad fight to open the card. Eduardo won the first 2 rounds, in my opinion, lost the 3rd round. I think you agree. Is that how you had it?
Yeah, man. She was just like too big and too strong for Veronica, pretty much. You know what I mean? So it was. I mean, I expected Mara to do a little bit more grappling, even which she really even did. You know, she didn't do as much. But what I liked from Mara in this fight that she was pacing a lot more. She wasn't like super aggressive like she normally is, and then she gasses out. She gassed out against Gomez. This was 125. That was she missed weight twice in the UFC so far. So I think 125 is good for her. And the funny thing is, I think the funny thing is, Mara went a weight class up, but she looked bigger than the girl who was already at the weight class. So
yeah. By the way, this guy's right. Like I forgot. I shouldn't say that. You know, like Jack had the 2 weight cuts back.
Yeah, true. That's true.
All right. 2 other things I want to talk about really quick before we finish it. Fight between Eric Anderson and Chris Weidman got canceled. Eric had food poisoning. Do you think they'll be able to rebook that potentially before the end of the year? There's a couple cards left, maybe. Probably not.
I think all those cards are fucking full, dude. I mean,
they can't put it on 310.
I don't think they will. They already have 5 early prelims, I think.
Oh, they do? So. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably have to wait till next year.
Maybe they do 6. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. There's not many cards left though. That's why I kind of feel bad for these guys. You know, they probably don't want to wait that long, but they, you know, happens. People get sick. And then the other thing was go ahead.
Put them on the co-main event of the first card of January.
The other thing was the whole thing with the gloves. It's just honestly, I don't even want to talk about it now because it's so confusing how Dana, you know, and the UFC have gone back and forth on this. So Dana said that they don't have enough of the new gloves. It's funny. I tweeted out, I'm like, oh, they probably have too much stock of the old ones. It's kind of the opposite problem, where they don't have enough stock of the old ones. Or sorry, you know what I mean? You know what I'm starting to say? They have a lot of these new gloves that they bought. They spent a ton of money on them. They have to get rid of them. So I can see why they want to get rid of them, but I do think it's freaking weird. It's like what other sport uses 2 different like equipment, like 2 different types of equipment, you know?
And what me really bothers here is that, and people, and they don't say it, but it's like they did it for Jon Jones. Let's be honest.
They don't say it.
They clearly did it for Jon Jones, because if Jon Jones didn't say anything, they would have just used because Stipe actually posed in the gold gloves, you know? He did. The ESPN showed that material. That's the stupid thing from them.
I like the old gloves better, though. Honestly, like, I think I like them better.
To be honest, I don't give a shit. You know, because I told, I know your stance on it with the percentage of knockouts. My stance
I
is
just
on.
go by the math, my friend.
I
That's
know,
all.
but my stance on it is it's all matchmaking, in my opinion. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I
if you
get that.
if you get two people against each other who are fighting not to win, but not to lose, you know,
Yeah,
you get these fights where like really hesitant and not much
yeah,
happening. And if you have so many Apex cards, you get a lot of these fights, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't give a shit. It's about the fighters, and I think maybe they should go and ask the fighters, what do you like more? And Dana is like to the guy who was asking, oh, so you find two fighters who like the new gloss more? I heard more fighters who like the new gloss more, and I also heard fighters who like the old gloss more. I also talked to fighters who said we never got the new gloss from the UFC, even so we don't know how it feels, and we have to fight in, for example, in Tampa next month. So I don't know, man, what to think about it. It's just really weird. And it's also weird, like, oh, we're using that one for the fight nights, and for the pay-per-views, we're using the old ones. It's just super odd, you know? And, but yeah, what can you do, you know?
No, for sure. I agree. I pretty much agree with everything you said. All right, let's end this podcast, guys. We just did the full recap of UFC 309, and I guess we move on to one of the last three cards of the year. What are you going to say?
What's your point?
My point is, I don't know. I'm just trying to ramble on now at this point. Let's end this show. Let's get to the next card. We're going to recap or preview UFC Macau. Guys, get ready. The big preview for UFC Macau, Marcel's favorite card of the year. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to tweet it out. No, not even 5 minutes. Probably 2 minutes. Just give me a sec, guys. I'll get the tweet ready and get ready for that. Thanks.